Hey guys, it's Ryan Norberg, PSL Karting brand ambassador, and with the Rotax Nationals at New Jersey Motorsports Park coming up this weekend, I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of advice and some tips to handling that track. This is actually one track that I struggle with a lot. I didn't do too well in the beginning stages of last year's race. I was slow in qualifying all the way up to the pre-final and final where I actually started to figure out the track and started to drive it correctly. There's a bunch of tips that I'm planning on giving you guys that really would have benefited me earlier on in the week. So hopefully you guys will be able to learn a lot from this and be prepared heading into next weekend. This is actually a video from Adam Rylands, PSL Karting Northeast driver. I'm actually taking his video off of YouTube, so I'll leave a link to his video, the full video, in the description below. Hopefully you guys will be able to learn a lot from this video, and it'll help you guys next weekend. The first corner is really difficult. Really don't want to overcharge it. You can really easily overcharge it under the braking zone. Ideally, you want to brake pretty early and be on the gas at the apex and kind of drive over that entry curb. He kind of missed it a little bit, but you just kind of want to touch that entry curb and it'll kind of suck you over to the inside, and then obviously use all the track on runoff. You end up going into turn 2, which is a really good passing zone. He has a pretty good line through there. I would do the same thing, really wide on the entry, and then you want to come back across the curbing again, and that's again going to pull you back to that left-hand side, so you're better set up for 3. Heading into 3, he ran over that curb. During the week, there's a lot of dirt and debris over that corner, and when it gets wet, last year it was wet, that corner a lot. And so it's very, very slick. And even in the dry, I was never able to get completely over that curb without having any four-wheel slide just right off the track. So it's kind of per driver. You're going to have to figure out what suits you guys better, what attack you're going to use through that corner. Ideally, you want to be off the gas early and then driving through that corner. Give you the most stability off the corner. Heading into 4, this should be flat out over the curb. 5 is pretty difficult. You want to drive into it really hard. It's uphill, so you got to remember you're going to have a lot more grip going into the corner. You're going to be able to carry a lot more speed. So carry a lot of speed up into the center of the corner, and then you want to get the go-kart straight out of this for the chicane off this corner. You want to ideally get to the backside of this curb. He hit it a little bit early, so I'd go probably another kart length. And then get to the curbing, and then you'll have a much straighter line coming off onto this back straightaway. And you can see he had to kind of correct a little bit right before the chicane. This corner was really difficult for me. It's really uncomfortable and it's really unstable, but ideally it should be flat out. Again, this is with the Vegas. It won't be the D4s that you guys will be running next week, but this was much faster when you hit it flat out. If you lift a little bit, it was easy like a 10th. On the data, it always hurt drivers whenever they lift. Yeah, keep your foot in it. It's going to give it a little bit more traction. You're going to be able to carry a little bit more speed. Use both of those curbs. Don't turn in too early. It's really going to throw you out for the second curb. So yeah, just try and stay as fast as you can through that section. Into this next corner. Yeah, you can see that this corner kind of dips. There's a little bit of banking into it, so you can really attack the entry of it. I don't like to hit the curb on entry that much. I like to just kind of brush it and then use all the track on exit. But yeah, hard under brakings and really attack this corner. Try and get as much speed as you can on entry. And then you can see here, the track kind of, there's like excess road on the exit. Use all of that, come out on the rumble strip, and then kind of go into the excess road, and that'll give you just a little bit of a wider entry into this tight hairpin section. This part is difficult. You really have to get a late apex for this corner, and you really want to underdrive it. You want to be on the gas as soon as you can so that you're flat out through the next corner. If you ever come out of the corner, you have to do a little lift and then back on the throttle. It's really going to hurt your run down the back straightaway. It's really going to affect the speed. So really try and do a late apex, wait to get on the throttle, get on it, and then make sure your line's straight so that you come out of this corner not too far to the left, and then you get a good run back on the straightaway. His line through there was pretty good. Kind of can just mark yourself off that. Flat out onto the back straightaway here. Heading in. This corner was really difficult because you can see on the exit of this corner there's a big bump that you go over. What I ended up figuring out doing is just kind of driving in really hard, brushing the brakes, and then rolling a lot of speed through the center of the corner and then getting back on the gas and going over the bump. There's no really trick to being neat for this corner. It's just carry as much speed as you can without going off the track. There's times where I'd be behind drivers where they'd be sideways in front of me, but they're just on the gas and carrying as much speed through the corner, put 2 tires in the dirt, and they'd gap me. So it really just matters more about as much speed as you can pull through this corner without going off the track. What I found that was the most stable for me was driving in really hard, just brushing the brakes a little bit, rolling a little bit longer than everybody else, then getting on the gas and driving over the curb and off into this rumble strip area here. Again, this is going to be on a different tire compound, so you probably won't be using as much speed into this corner, but definitely still probably the same attack for it. You just want to carry as much speed as you can without going off the track. No real neatness to it. Just attack the corner really, really hard. This corner is actually a really good passing corner. If you can catch somebody off where they're really fighting the go-kart through this section, this corner right here, quick pop to the inside, and you can normally just kind of push people wide and they won't be able to stay with you through the chicane. But late apex here, good entry for him. He didn't really use that much curb. It's going to keep him more to this side of the track. You don't want to attack that first curb too hard or it's going to throw you out for this next right-hander. And then the left going onto the straightaway is really going to hurt your whole straightaway because you're going to be tight and you're going to wash out really wide. So yeah, don't hit this curb that much. He hit it pretty well right off. The rest should be flat out. Shouldn't use that much track on exit. And then from there on, it's just a flat out run to the start finish line. Best passing zone though is turn 1, turn 2, and then up into 5, the banked uphill one, and then the back section. Almost every corner there is a really good passing opportunity. The track's really difficult. There's not really one strategy to it. Underdriving all the corners isn't good. Overdriving all the corners isn't good. So it's a mixture. Like turn 1, you really want to underdrive, but in turn 5, you really want to hustle the go-kart on entry. There's just a mixture of corners here. Biggest thing is you're not going to be comfortable. The track is really hard to drive and really on edge the whole time. So if you feel that you're just kind of on edge every corner, that's not a bad thing. I struggled with that a lot because I felt that I was on edge every corner, and that was why I was slow. And reality, me trying to race against that was what was causing me to be slow. So I hope you guys do well next week. I hope this helped you guys, and I hope you guys learned something important. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you at the next race.